as Dimitri already alluded to, here we go. Right. We are launching today our AI for Longevity Consortium as UK or even Europe's first AI for Longevity innovation hub. And this is not only for commercialization, but quite rightly, we're academics and clinicians. This is also for non-profit academic excellence. And what we hope to do is to work together with government bodies and also industry to develop strengths in both of these areas. And I think we had an excellent intersection in time as well to bring these two concepts together. I just want to start by saying a few words about aging research at King's, which is the consortium which started all of this off. We are, as I said earlier on in the afternoon, a comprehensive neuroscience consortium, all the way from cell biology, and we heard a little bit about that through my colleague from the Stem Cell Center, all the way through to society. And that's not only population demographics, but also economic health and wealth at the personal level and also at the national level. At King's, we do encompass 9 different faculties, each of which are involved in the aging research at King's Consortium. I myself am based in the Faculty of Life Sciences and Medicine, where you might expect a lot of aging research, basic and clinical, to occur. But of course, we do also have our Institute of Psychiatry, Psychology and Neuroscience, where a lot of the neurotech and the aging brain and brain health research occurs. Faculty of Social Sciences and Public Policy, a lot of our colleagues working in the Policy Institute are engaged with policymakers, parliamentarians and beyond, not only in the UK, but globally. We have strengths in nursing through our Florence Nightingale Faculty of Nursing and Midwifery. Care of the elderly, or care in the community, is a major focus of longevity and of our research and clinical excellence as well here at King's. Earlier on, I think Julia Rendell-Kahn mentioned a lack of integration of arts and humanities in longevity research. And this is an area that we are actively engaging in to increase their awareness of how they can contribute to longevity, health and wellness, and brain health especially. For example, through music and literature and art. And of course, the theologians are very interested because we talk about longevity, but what happens at the end? And is there a further longevity that we need to consider? And of course, talking about AI, Faculty of Natural and Mathematical Sciences, the data sciences, data security, these are areas that we need to consider. And finally, King's Business School. Our newest faculty here, very much engaged with financial health and wellness, pensions, we've heard a little bit about insurance and so on. So again, right across the university, we're engaging in aging, but more importantly, longevity research. So a quick overview of how we established the Longevity AI Consortium. We now know why both sectors are crucial, but we are going to be developing this leading academic industry R&D hub for technology transfer and innovation. We do need to embrace the industry sector, in addition to our traditional government funding and also charity funding. So what we want to do is develop a minimum viable and also most comprehensive and also biomarkers of aging longevity. So we've heard a lot about that this afternoon, especially from Dimitri and Wen and others. And again, it's turning to the corporate sector that is crucial. We don't have the expertise necessarily within academia, within our clinical NHS colleagues, but there is a lot of innovation occurring in the commercial sector, the startup sector. So what we're hoping to do is provide a framework for the extension of our academic and basic science research and clinical research into the community. Not necessarily in the clinical setting after you get ill, but much more in the consumer setting, in the community. When your health, when you're not considering your health, for example, at the younger stages, where we might have to have a change in mindset What do we need to do before we get ill or consider aging? So what we hope to leverage is these synergies between academia and clinical excellence, industry, and also the finance sector. So Dimitri's background and his strengths are in the finance sector. And why do we need to take care of that? Not only for financial health and wellness, but because of the importance how we can leverage funding. So we're all here for funding opportunities, networking opportunities. So this is a very simple network. I'm based down here in academia, and I look down the microscope. And you may say that's far removed from the community. But through our interactions with clinicians, with industry players, even with large corporate food and beverage companies such as Unilever, and I'll allude to that later on, we can learn a lot about what we are doing at the basic level, how that might impact the community. So, AI for longevity. We've heard that we need to develop biomarkers, but we need to also validate these biomarkers. There are lots of markers out there, but have they been validated robustly within an academic setting? Clinical trials are essential to get the clinical expertise linked to the technological advances. That's what we're here to try and encourage through our accelerator program, bringing the academic to the technologists, bringing the theologian even to the neuroscientist, the nurse to the financial sector, where we can think slightly outside the box to bring together these concepts to develop a strategy for longevity, where we can also feed back to the policymakers. And we heard a lot about that this morning through our engagement with the APPG for longevity, but also at the European and global level through the World Health Organization. So what is this academic industry R&D focus? And what are our goals? Apart from validating biomarkers, we want to investigate new biomarkers, things that we haven't necessarily thought of in our daily lives. Not clinical biomarkers, we have strengths in imaging sciences, and blood markers and so on, but what about in our daily lives? For example, sleep, nutrition, what did you have for breakfast? How's that affecting your mood right now? Physical activity, many of you have been sitting in these seats for several hours, not good for your health today. What might you want to do about it? Environmental exposure, pollution. Some of you have come from nice areas where there's less pollution. So it's to develop AI-empowered analytics so that we can address healthy longevity. We can define it more robustly at a personalized level. We can have a personalized footprint or signature based on how we slept last night. So it's at that fundamental level that we need to readdress longevity. Very busy slide, which says the same thing, but maybe if I just highlight you in this bottom right, a paradigm shift from treatment to prevention. And it is indeed a new frontier that we see over the next 5 years developing globally. We saw a video earlier on, going to Starbucks. You don't normally associate Starbucks with health, but in Malaysia, where you download this app from Starbucks, it's very important. Maybe if you go to Starbucks too often, that's going to impact your sleep pattern. As simple as that. So we need to better inform our precision health analytics and also strategies at the community and consumer level. So, bridging research with practical implementation. What are we going to do as we launch the consortium? Leveraging the expertise in academia. We've heard about that from MedCity, and through our network at Aging Research at King's, we can do that. We have the clinical expertise, academic expertise right across the university. And this is how we need to educate each other. What does AI for longevity mean? And we also want to accelerate commercialization. So spinning out companies, you all know about that, but we also might want to consider spinning in companies. Companies that are looking for funding, looking for academic expertise or even clinical connections. And this is what our accelerator program can achieve, supporting external startups or commercialization of basic academic research. We've heard about our clinical strengths and NHSX. Unfortunately, our colleague from NHSX can't speak today, but clearly with 4 teaching hospitals associated with King's, data analytics and our engagement with NHSX is very important, and the whole NHS sector, both in the community care and also in clinical care. AI companies, many of you are here as startups looking for academic partnerships, corporate partners, the clinicians and the doctors in the community. We will create a forum, not only for research, but for engagement with the public. Such a dialogue is very important, that we can learn from each other. So our partners, initially through funding from the Biogerontology Research Foundation, a UK charity, we have launched the AI Consortium, and with in silico medicine, Alex has gone now, but he spoke earlier on, as our scientific partner, where we can learn from what they have achieved over the past 5 years in use of AI technologies, not only for longevity, but more importantly, in drug discovery as well. And of course, through our engagement with Deep Knowledge Ventures, we will have access to the financial resources, and also other VC companies are interested in this space. So, back to the academic strengths at King's and our Aging Research Consortium. We are also linked with the Francis Crick Institute, and this is part of the King's Cross Quarter we heard about earlier on, where there is world expertise in basic science and also clinical translation research. Many of you know the Francis Crick Institute. King's Health Partners, again with our 4 teaching hospitals and the Health Innovation Network, especially focusing on healthy aging in the community. And King's Health Partners is part of the Academic Health Sciences Centre network, of which there are, I think, 6 or 8 in the country, where we can leverage not only strengths in London, but also across the UK. And we can learn a lot from each other as well through these networks. And of course, MedCity, with their expertise in translational research, but more importantly, accelerating commercialization, linking academics with the commercial sector. So, because of time, I'm going to skip lengthy and wordy slides, but just to reiterate the point that Dimitri made, we need this paradigm shift. Where we are now, in 2019, we're not really embracing this concept of deep diagnostics for preventative medicine, how we can stay well. But in the next 5 years, we're entering a new decade, 2020 and beyond. We're going to see an increase globally in precision preventative medicine, and we need to utilize the AI technologies to achieve this. Biomarkers. Well, there are at present many unfulfilled biomarkers, not robustly validated. And what we hope to do is to utilize basic science research and clinical research as well, so that we can robustly say these are the biomarkers we need to look at in combination. There's no one single biomarker that we can hone in. If we have a footprint or a signature, that will require more than 19 markers perhaps, and how we can integrate all of those for our personal health and wellness. So at the moment, there's AI for precision medicine, and that's clinical care of disease processes. So omic technologies, data aggregation, and so on. That is amenable to AI analytics. But if we consider health and wellness, that may not be the case. We may need to repurpose the data and collect it in different ways in order to have meaningful outcomes. I will skip that, says the same thing. So AI-driven precision diagnostics, prognostics, optimization. We may generate a lot of data, but we need to have this optimized. We need to store this picture of a cloud here. We need to store the data somewhere that we're collecting in a secure environment. And how we can achieve this goal of AI-driven preventative treatment. So watch this space over the next 5 to 10 years, and hopefully we'll have answers to many of these questions. And finally, financial wellness. As you know, we're always worried about our own wallets. That's financial wellness. And as we age, we need to prepare for that. And this is another area that through Dimitri and Aging Analytics, we hope to develop this as a strength of our consortium here at King's and also with our partners. So, the AI Longevity Accelerator. Mentioned already, spin-out companies, that's what we expect through an accelerator program. But what we hope to do is really see what is out there in the community or in the industry sector that isn't perhaps doing so well. Good ideas that we could spin in and validate. Mentorship is very important. A lot of programs are not successful because of inadequate mentorship. And here at King's we have our Commercialization Institute and Entrepreneurship Institute, where we have expertise to provide that level of mentorship and also the industry sector. And all the way through to in-depth industry expertise, lots of large corporations as well. We will integrate into our network to provide us with this advanced benchmarking to really make this a successful joint effort for the accelerator. So this is a quick breakdown of our partners. I won't go into details. I think you have a lot of that information already in your packets. And as Dimitri very kindly mentioned already, Deep Knowledge Group will provide $2 million over the next 3-year period for non-profit activities. Apart from commercialization, we need to have academic strengths here through applications to the European Union, if that's still available, but of course to the UK government and charities such as the Wellcome Trust, British Heart Foundation, Alzheimer's Research. We are trying to fast-track our research towards both government and charity sector, but also equally important, we will have investment of £5 million over 3 years from Deep Knowledge Ventures to drive this commercialization agenda. A quick summary, again I won't read through that, but Dimitri highlighted where we're going in the future globally, because it's not one size fits all. We may have expertise in London, but that doesn't fit the picture, for example, in Switzerland. And this morning we heard from our colleague from the University of Zurich about how they're tackling longevity in Switzerland. And in collaboration with the Longevity Swiss Foundation, we are also forming partnerships with other industries in Switzerland, especially in the financial sector. And beyond that, Israel, we heard about again this morning, Singapore, very important region where we have close academic links already. Japan, clearly, we heard about that again this morning, where aging society has really hit that place where we're going to be very soon, and of course in the United States as well. This is a quick picture of our aging research at King's global network, and as you can see, we have partnered with University of Zurich for our Swiss agenda, with Keio University in Tokyo, where we have close links in aging research with the Japanese and also government relations there. The Technion Institute of Technology in Israel, very key institution for technology transfer. And of course in the USA, we have a link with Harvard Medical School and University of Southern California. And finally at the top here, National University of Singapore, where we already have joint academic programs with them, but not yet in the Longevity Accelerator program. And that will come online very soon. So just to finish, I'd like to thank again the Biogerontology Research Foundation. I have Unilever there. I have a long-standing colleague in the audience from Unilever where they had supported the initial stages of aging research at King's, and we know what Unilever stand for in terms of social responsibility and sustainability and also excellence in research. And of course, King's Health Partners, our strong association with our clinical colleagues and our teaching hospitals, crucial for development of this accelerator program. Okay, and I think that's it. So thank you very much.